Yo, what's good, everybody? How y'all doing? How's everybody doing? Hopefully, everybody's doing well. It's your boy. Today is Sunday, July the 12th of 2026. And I'm just here to, you know, put my 2 cents into this young Miami situation. You know, uh, everybody talking about it. So I figured why not put my 2 cents in, right? Why not put my 2 cents in? So without further ado, let's get. I haven't watched this video, so fair use. We can watch it together, and I'm just going to give my opinion about the situation as we share. All right, all right.
Airplane ticket or whatever. I'm not a person that's going to be boosting and all that, but they only see the N word, right? Because that's what we projected out. That's the danger of this, right? And because people in this country segregate, the only way that they experience blackness is through our music, mostly through our music. This doesn't represent me. It doesn't represent the vast majority of us. And that's the problem.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
It's so easy to become a podcaster with Riverside. First, go to Riverside and open an account. When you're ready to record, just hit.
I support artists, support real music, support real creatives. Because, baby, the two things that we have to compete with, AI is one of them. And the other thing is ratchet ass, ghetto ass, low vibrational ass music and songs. I'm sick of them. Do I think that one song is going to turn somebody into a criminal? Absolutely not. And we're going to acknowledge music will heal you. It will inspire you. But when songs start streaming billions and billions of time, it becomes a part of our cultural conversation, right? It's not just shaping fashion and language and cultural identity. It's actually teaching people how to treat us. Music influences our emotions. Yeah. Music influences our cultural identity. Yeah.
All right, so let me stop right there and just add my 2 cents based on that small little piece of information. And let me ask you guys the question: how much influence do you think music actually have on us, right? As a collective, as a people? Do you think that it has a strong influence or do you think it doesn't? Because I'm gonna tell you, at one point in time, music always had a pretty strong influence. But what I am gonna say is, it was a time in life where you knew music was just music, and the rest of your life was way more important. And I think at some point it's been a shift, and now it's the other way around.
Yeah. Music and social norms, right? Our attitudes and behaviors about things. Why is it that when we start talking about songs like Spin That, all of a sudden, suddenly, we taking it too seriously. We doing too much. We being too much of an auntie. I don't want to believe that as a culture, we about to start boosting and scamming. But it's already something that plagues our communities. It's already a lot of kids who don't have parents in the household because they locked up. It's a lot of young women out there and young men out there who got locked up for stealing some shit, didn't have the bail money or ability to get out of jail, and ended up getting in trouble while they were there. And now they got to spend the rest of their lives in prison. I just think that there's a lot more, not that everything has to be kumbaya. And again, it's art, but Carisha has a very successful record. She's going to reap the benefits of the record. So if there's a criticism connected to it, then, got to take that too. And I get it, because honestly, I don't think that there are enough of us who care enough to really make an impact on whether or not that kind of music and those kind of songs and for God's sake, see, Dolores Tucker went all the way to the Capitol, y'all. And they told that lady to get up out of here, gave her a parental advisory sticker that don't even exist anymore. And, that was that. So if you go to the highest court in the land and they say they don't care, i.e. what I had to do with my case.
So some of y'all might not know who C. Dolores Tucker was, but she was a person, one of the first ladies that went against gangster rap back in, I think it was the 90s. And, this is when Tupac and Snoop Dogg and all of them was on at their peak. And she went against it, and she was trying to get it banned. And at that point in time, I couldn't see the light because I was too busy in the forest. You know what I'm saying? But now when I think back in retrospect, man, that lady, she was about right, man. You know what I'm saying? They needed to ban it. That's just me keeping it 100.
Case. Then what else do you do? Maybe occasionally get on live and share with people who listen and who get it that, it's not okay. But then, then you ostracize and alienate yourself for something that the whole world is going to be bopping to, whether you are or not. So feels a little futile to even talk about it, but I'm just a real one. And I just have to say, I'm not buying into the hype because everybody else is. Never have, never will.
Thank you, Nikki Gilbert. Welcome back. Hottest show in the galaxy. It's the Karen Hunter Show. Do we give it more hype talking about it? Drew McCaskill is here. You think deeply about things, and you're a crisis manager. Yes. I had a very famous sports commentator who said he's running for president tell me that it doesn't matter as long as they're talking about you. Just as long as they're talking about you. And I never ascribe to that. I think it's important how people talk about you, but it
depends on what your level of integrity is, right? Like, I feel like it depends on what your level of integrity is. It depends on how you feel about legacy. It depends on what you plan to do with said fame. If all you plan on doing with the fame and the conversation and the negative conversation, the positive conversation is use it to make more money, then it doesn't matter, right? But now if there's a modicum of integrity that you plan on keeping, if there's something that you want to have differently said about you and your legacy, then all press ain't good press. Now, look, I think that no matter how many conversations that artists have about Spin That and Carissa's song, it's only going to get more attention for her, more spins for her, more plays for her. There's no lose in this cold conversation for Carissa. You can have everybody and their mama, they former president, they former first lady, they former whatever, come and say, y'all need to do better than Spin That. That is only going to make Carissa more money. And so
all right. So do y'all agree with that? Is that an accurate statement? For me, I would say, yeah, it is pretty much, because she's going to benefit one way or another. We all know controversy sells, right? But dare I go deeper? Dare I go deeper, right? Again, the women, they raise the children and they also set the culture. So for me, that's where I come in. That's where it becomes problematic for me, because if the women that's teaching the children are of a lower class and of a lower vibration, then what is you creating more of the same. And then what ends up happening as a culture or as a people, eventually you end up as just Just look around. I say more? Just look around, man. Moving right along.
We can debate it, we can think piece it all we want to, but because what the goal of a song is to have more people play it. Look, there's right now online, India RE is getting eviscerated on one side of the internet and being applauded and lauded on another side of the internet. And there's already a remix of Spin That based on with the video with the music to India RE's video on it on Instagram right now.
No.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh
yes.
Okay.
So listen,
there's my God. Drew. Damn. Okay. I landed when Nikki said we're teaching people how to treat us. I say that all the time. You have to teach people how to treat. This is not how I want to be treated. And because
you don't want to be treated like a scammer.
No. And because we live in silos in this country, I'm not even talking about outside the country, because the propaganda mill pushes it out so that we go travel to other foreign countries. And they're not even thinking, if you could afford to travel to a foreign country that costs a couple $1,000s for an airplane ticket or whatever, I'm not a person that's going to be boosting and all that, but they only see the N word, right? Because that's what we projected out. That's the danger of this, right? And because people in this country segregate, the only way that they experience blackness is through our music, mostly through our music. This doesn't represent me. It doesn't represent the vast majority of us. And that's the problem. And I don't know what to do about it. Because Nikki, I felt her frustration at the end. Is like, y'all going to do whatever. Y'all going to play it. If anything, we're going to be demonized for talking about it. The way C. Dolores Tucker, she brought her up. I talked about her yesterday. C. Dolores Tucker got her ass handed to her. And all that lady wanted to elevate a conversation about blackness. And boy, did we spin her turban around and made her a pariah.
We turned it upside down. We turned that turban upside down. I mean, their whole bars in songs about C. Dolores Tucker, right?
Yes.
And so here's the thing that
rhymes with that word. So her name rhymes with stuff. So So does wait a minute. Okay, go ahead. Continue.
Ding, 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 ding.
Continue.
Here's part of. And I'm not both sideser, but this is what hit me in the shower this morning really hard, because I've been thinking about this ever since I listened to India RE yesterday, and ever since I heard the remix with the video track under Spin That, which actually is also ear crack, right? I think that it's really interesting how we can oftentimes have highly selective outrage about certain things, right? Like there have been decades and decades of people who we love in the culture, in the community, who we now uphold in incredible lights, who built their career.
All right, let's talk about it, man. Now, 1,000% is correct. You know, if we want to be real, see, the thing is, we don't never want to have the hard conversations, man, because them shits is like, you know, they say the truth hurts, and motherfuckers don't like hurt. You know, people tend to just want to be comfortable all the time. But I promise you, what's necessary is these type of conversations if you ever want to get to the other side, right? Because you got to be able to recognize, change. That's usually the process. You know what I mean? And so what I'm going to say is this. Even some of the stuff that I like the most, music-wise, rappers, shit that I used to listen to coming up, you know, if I'm being honest, you know what I'm saying? It was just the worst shit. I shouldn't have been listening to that. Like, I shouldn't have been privy to hear a lot of that shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people gonna be like, man, you acting like a bitch. I feel you, man, but at the end of the day, yo, you got to look at the community, man. You got to look at the people. What is the music actually doing for you, for the community? Now, what I can say is, back then when we was doing shit, or when I was listening to that kind of music, guess what? it was an alternative as well, because I wasn't just listening to garbage trash music. I was also listening to Poor Righteous Teachers, you know, YZ, you know, KRS-One, you know what I'm saying? Tribe Called Quest, you understand what I'm saying? You know, shit like that. You understand what I'm saying? It wasn't all just violence and shit. So it was a balance. And then if you really wanted to go all the way over and have some fun and just stay away from the violence and shit, you can go Will Smith, you can go MC Hammer, you know, Vanilla Ice. I mean, I'm just being honest. All this stuff existed. So those options existed, is what I'm saying, right? We don't have those options anymore. You know what I mean? We don't have those options anymore.
Rears their fame, their fortunes on the back of talking about the drug game and talking about how to make money off of drugs, how to sell drugs. Ice-T, 50 Cent, Ice Cube, like people who were now beloved actors and philanthropists and music producers who have schools, who have given money to schools for music programs, and they built their whole career, their entire fortune, the entirety of their personality and their fame on glorifying the drug game. And I would say that the drug game did way more against our culture, our people, how we were perceived, who gets pulled over, who gets stopped, who is in jail right now, than boosting ever will do or does.
You're right.
And the difference here, I feel like there's like, is it because Carisha's a woman now? We have an opportunity to say, are we more evolved? And we're
I don't think so. Little Kim got to talk about all her stuff, and Megan got to talk about her WAP or whatever. Like, no, I don't think it's because she's a woman. I'm struggling.
Is it because
with
it's
Carisha.
criminality?
No, I'm struggling with her because of the Puffy relationship. I'm struggling with her, yes, because there is
a woman shouldn't have to fight the.
All right, hold on for a second, because this dude, and I don't know if he seemed a little, you know, I ain't gonna, you know, whatever, but two wrongs don't make it right, bro. Just because we did some shit or some people did, see, this is what I'm trying to say. It got to start somewhere, though, right? I mean, it got to start somewhere. Just because we did it back then, and we did it, and he did it, and they did it, and this and they did it, and yeah. But see, whenever the focus is, when, you know, maybe the song is actually good because it creates a conversation that need to be had, right? So it depends on how you look at it, whether you look at it with the glass half empty or the glass half full, right? We just have to be real with ourselves when we talk about these type of things. Like, just because I did this shit last week don't mean I want to do it this week. Just because, you know what I mean? We got to get to a place. We got to get to a space where we understand it's all about progression. We got to evolve. We can't keep talking about the shit from back in the days. I keep saying we can't use old shit. We got to create new shit. You understand what I'm saying? We got to create new shit. So when I hear, oh, this is just an excuse, what that is to me. It's like another justification for nonsense. You know what I mean? Debauchery. Like, yo, listen. Yo, yeah, the song got a hot snap to it, whatever. You know what I mean? Can I party to it? Yeah, I get enough liquor in my system and whatever. I'm around the right type of people. Yeah. Cool, man. You know what I'm saying? Cool. But what we just having a conversation though about, let's go deeper sometimes. So, because the music has an effect. What about the babies, man? What about the babies and shit? Like, you know, we some selfish motherfuckers, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had no consideration for the next generation of people that's coming up after. You know, and that's another video I might have, because I really believe that once motherfuckers get to a certain age, they become haters of the younger people, and they don't want to do what's necessary for the next generation to evolve. You know what I mean? And that's why I usually be like a clash and shit. That's a whole nother video. But you know, I just don't believe, like I said before, I've already stated my points and my facts, is that because the women are the raise are the they raise the children, and because they set the culture, is the reason why I believe that women should be in a better space, in a better place than where they at. And the things that they talking about and stuff like that, right? It's not going to be, it's counterproductive behavior. You know what I mean? And then so when they start clenching down on you motherfuckers, when they say, okay, well, y'all want to play around? All right, well, I'm gonna slap your ass in jail for 2 years. You still a person, your ass going to jail for 2 years. Then we're gonna be talking about is racism and this and this and that, right? That's what I'm saying. This is what we do. Tell me how y'all feel about the situation, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember one day at one point in time, it was a song they called Self-Destruction. You know what I mean? And in that particular song, it said, yo, you headed for self-destruction. And at this point, I feel like, yo, at that point back there, we was headed for it. Now I think we've reached it. I think our destination is complete. But maybe I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy. So yo, tell me how y'all feel about it, man. Tell me respectfully y'all opinion. Subscribe to the channel, man. Welcome to real life.